Everybody, this is Rack Attack from Rack Attack Gamer YouTube channel. You can call me Rack. Um, Today's video is going to be a little bit different than I normally do. It's going to deal with a different subject. It's going to deal with a movie and my personal story and connection with the movie, sort of. For that reason, we're going to go through the normal preliminaries that I like to do with an additional one. Why the mask? Okay, so in case we get new people, why the mask? Just my personal preference. My normal topics that I deal with on my channel are controversial, and I just don't need hassle, so there's a mask, and that's all there is to it. I don't need the hassle, so that's why the mask. The mask, I know, is associated a lot with the hacking group Anonymous. I'm not anonymous. I don't hack. It's just a mask. I liked the movie V for Vendetta one day, and I was at a store and I saw they were selling some sort of comic book in tandem with the mask, and I bought it. Figured I might use it for YouTube videos, and sure enough, I did, and there it is. So no, I'm not anonymous, and I don't hack, and I just use the mask. All right, so that preliminary out of the way. Let's go for another preliminary. Let's see. Anything I say in this video, even if it sounds like a statement, it's going to be my opinion. Everything's my opinion. And if it is a statement in some weird way, check your facts. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, all that kind of stuff. This way, if it's simply not opinion and it sounds like a fact, well, check it out. Just make double sure. Next is anything I use in this video today, I claim as fair use. Pictures, video, etc., etc. I don't own the copyrights to everything, but I'm only using tiny portions, and it's for educational, entertainment type purposes, etc. All right, so fair use claimed for everything. So what is today? Oh, one more preliminary. Let's bring this. Spoiler alert. That's a good preliminary. The topic of today's video is going to be regarding a movie. It's going to be regarding the movie The Lathe of Heaven. And I'm going to go into details about this movie. Like I said, I had a personal experience about the movie, and it's not going to be completely 100% not dealing with the subjects that I normally deal with. I'm going to mix them in too a little bit. But it's an unusual video, so I would imagine I'm getting new people and stuff like that, and there's all the preliminaries right there. So let me reiterate about the spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie The Lathe of Heaven, then, pause the video, do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, I'm going to reveal things, so just so that you know, if you don't want to have the movie ruined, then pause the video, come back to it some other time, and watch the movie. All right, so anyway, let's get into it now. Now, you've been warned, spoiler alert. All right, so The Lathe of Heaven. Lathe of Heaven came out in 1980. It was a PBS production, actually, I believe, from WNET-TV, New York PBS station. Let's see. It's based on a book by Ursula K. Le Guin. That's her right there. She's wrote several different books. I've never read the Lathe of Heaven. I've seen the movie, obviously, but I've never read the Lathe of Heaven. I got a compilation of her other books. I started reading a couple of them. They're just not for me. They deal with subjects and materials that just ain't my thing. But she is a very good writer, accomplished writer. A lot of people enjoy her. She deals with science fiction type stuff a lot. And, if you're interested, check her out. But that's what this is regarding, a book by Ursula K. Le Guin. And that book, I believe I tried to find the original cover of the book. This is the original cover art, Ursula K. Le Guin, The Lathe of Heaven. After the movie came out, I guess they, kept publishing the book. And they took a still from the movie, which is what you see here, The Lathe of Heaven. Now a PBS drama special. So, Yeah, it is a PBS movie, but there's interesting twists to this movie, which is the whole purpose of this video, and my personal kind of connection with it. Let's go. The movie stars Bruce Davison. Um, he's like I would guess you call him a character actor. He's done some leading roles. He's done some secondary, tertiary roles, whatever you want to call it. And there's some of his pictures. I believe this particular picture right here is what they use for his IMDb account, I think. It must be his own public relations release or something like that. So Bruce Davison, an actor, I enjoy him in this movie immensely. I became a fan of his because of this movie. Um, Born in June 28, 1946, currently 73 years old. Back at the time when the movie was made, he was about 32, 33 years old. He's made other movies, of course. Some of them are at the top here. One in particular, I think it was one of his first movies, if not his first movie, from 1971, was Willard. It was dealing with, he was a younger guy and he got ticked off because he was dealt some injustice from certain people in a certain area. And he had an unusual thing about him where he kept rats as pets and he would train them. So he took those trained rats and he terrorized the town. Uh, anyway, so check that movie out too. That's also a cult classic movie, so go see it. Willard, or get it. Not go see it, but get it. Um, he's also been in other things, one of them being Seinfeld. If you've watched Seinfeld, when George Costanza's girlfriend dies from the licking of the stamps or the envelopes or whatever, that George buys her the envelopes and she dies from poisonous on the glue of the envelopes. George finds out that she had tons of money because they were thinking about getting married, and the administrator of the will, I believe, or her estate was Wick Thayer, which is of course Bruce Davison. So you might have seen him in Seinfeld also. I mean, he's been in many other things too, but this is the ones that I'm familiar with. And there's a larger version of him in Seinfeld. This is a picture of Bruce Davison in the Lathe of Heaven. This is when he was younger than Seinfeld. The wardrobe that he wore part time in the Lathe of Heaven, and let's continue. WNET, Channel 13 out of New York, PBS station. I believe they simply made the movie. It was from 1980. And so I did some research, and I brought some stuff up just so you understand. There is still some stuff on their website, Channel 13 out of New York's website. Their site is 13.org. And when I do a search on their site for the Lathe of Heaven, it does have a few resources still left on it. This is going back from roughly around 2000 when they put this up. And this is where we're going to get into a little bit of stuff. But we're heading there. We're heading there. All right. Here's additional resources from around the year 2000. As you can see at the top here, this website is no longer actively maintained. Some material and features may be unavailable. And there are a few broken links in here, but some of them still work. One of the links was to video clips that they did with the director, Bruce Davison himself, and Kevin Conway, who played another major character in the movie. Kevin Conway is interviewed here. The director is interviewed. Bruce Davison is interviewed. And they give you a few clips from the movie also. That's still available on the 13.org website if you'd like to go see it. You gotta do a little searching though for it. They don't have it out in the open anymore. This is going back to the year 2000-ish. All right. They have some downloadable content, was what they call it. What it really is just simply pictures, stills from the movie that you can use as backdrops for your computer. I think that's what the idea was behind it. I'll show you a couple of them. I didn't take them all because I don't want to spoil too much of the movie. So I took some of them just to show you the stuff you can get and for backdrops of your computer if you want it. it is a kind of a cult classic movie, and there's a reason for it. And there's some of the stills. Next, okay, how did I come across this? Well, in 1980, when the movie was broadcast twice on PBS, prior to the movie being broadcast, I was actually at the TV and I was watching something I wanted to watch, and that was Cosmos. And back in that days, VHS and Beta. Okay, Cosmos with Carl Sagan. Yes, let's get into that. All right. So, VHS and Beta, although in existence, they came out 75, 76-ish. Not too many people had them. I mean, and probably they were very expensive, and it wasn't a thing yet, VHS and Beta. And obviously, Beta died out, VHS continued. Actually, both of them kind of continued way up until, I think it was like 2016 for VHS and 2002, I think, for Beta. Something like that. Way beyond what you would figure that they lasted, but they lasted. Okay, but I didn't know that till I did some research. Now, I didn't have VHS or Beta, but I used to like going back to it, Cosmos, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to record Cosmos, and since I didn't have a video recorder, what did I do? So I recorded it on cassette tape, just the audio. Just to have something to go back, because I was interested in astronomy, and this is the first series that came out with astronomy, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I got to record this. So I did. I recorded the series of Cosmos and other things on cassette tape, and I would listen to them as I fall asleep and stuff like that. There's the cassette recorder, roughly, of what I would tape it with. All ancient stuff, right? The other thing I would tape was the entire series of Star Trek on audio cassette only, and I would listen to it as I go to sleep. It was another interest of mine. Continuing, in roughly 1993-ish, roughly, I bought my first computer. And boy, it was expensive. Considering computer prices today, it was roughly around $2,200, something like that, and it was a beast because what are you gonna get for it back then? I think it had a 2400 baud modem included, or something like that. It had 420 megabit, not gigabit, not terabit, megabit hard drive, where that's where you stored your stuff. I'm not even sure if it came with Windows. I think it did. I know it had DOS. I used both. I don't know if I installed Windows later, or I don't remember already. It probably came with Windows, but it was a beast. I think, taxes and everything included, was around $2,500 for something that would be considered junk today. All right, continuing. Let's see, why is this so small? So, one of the things I did was right after getting the computer, I within a reasonable amount of time, started to go on this newfangled thing called the internet. And I was interested in this movie, so I figured, I'm going to look this thing up on the internet, see what they say about it. Oh, one thing I haven't told you is that this movie was broadcast in 1980. Now we're already talking 93-ish, and it was never seen again. Where'd it go? It was never repeated. I'd always look for it. It was in a movie that I was interested in, but it just sort of disappeared. It was never played again. So I did a search for it, and I came across an old forum, a bulletin board type forum, a forum. One of the earlier ones, one of the very first forums, I guess. And it was a group of people who also liked the movie, also seen it on the 1980 broadcasts. There was broadcast twice, from my memory. I'm going from memory, like I said, check things out. And people were saying, where is it? Why isn't it out? And they were talking amongst themselves about it. I got into the forum. And what they would do is they would do email campaigns to WNET 13 out of New York and say, hey, release the movie. What's going on? How come you're not putting it out? And then what they found out was, let's see, there was a song. One of the main reasons the movie wasn't put out, though, was a song on the movie within the movie, played by the Beatles, actually played by the Beatles. So they had the movie going, they put in the background the Beatles song with a little help from my friends. And from 1980, after shelving it a while, it became a copyright nightmare to try to get the copyrights not only from everything else in the movie to re-release it, but this song in particular was a real stickling point because I guess there was all sorts of issues with who gets paid. I think Michael Jackson had some sort of a hand in it then. I think he took over the Beatles songs, and the cost was high. So this is why from 1980 all the way until 93 now we're talking, it was nowhere to be found. And people were starting to write to the station, put out the movie. Now here's where I come in. Not only did I write along with them and, voice my desire to have the movie put back out, but I got frustrated after a while and I sent the station a personal email from me, where I was posing as someone that could actually buy the movie. I was telling them, now look, if you ain't going to put this movie out, sell it to me. Sell me the rights. I'll figure it out. Somehow I'll get it out there because there's a cult following and it'll make me a ton of money. Just sell me the movie and I'll do it if you're not going to do it. I never heard back from the station, but very shortly after, sure enough, they did come out with the movie. They came out with the movie. So, was it due to my letter saying to them, my email saying to them, if you're not going to put it out, I'll put it out and I'll make a ton of money? Was it because of that? Maybe, maybe not. I would think I had at least some influence in it. While researching for this video, I found this site from current.org. It says news for people in public media. And this is also an old post. It's from May 1st of 2000. Due to copyright, I won't read it all to you. I'll just kind of voice it that there's been a desire to have this movie out. It was voiced by fans to WNET, which is what I was saying. And I'll let you look this up. Just look up this, and then you can read it all. And this way, I don't have to worry about copyright stuff. But they do mention that they were pestered. They were pestered, and that's finally why they put out the movie. And I'm thinking and I'm hoping that, geez, it might have been me that they were talking about when they're talking about they were pestered and finally decided to put out the movie. All right, let's move on now. Let's move on to a few clips. Let's see. Bring up my monitor. Yeah. All right, let's have a clip of Bruce Davison and a brief one that this is one of those clips that they offered on that website. Now, I ain't going to play the whole thing because of copyright issues. I'm only going to play a tiny portion of it, just so that YouTube and everybody else knows I'm only taking a tiny portion for educational and entertainment purposes and whatever else. So let's see a little portion of the interview with Bruce Davison regarding this movie.
I remember there was one incident in which we were trying to cut to the chase and get me unconscious. Mm-hmm. And we said, well, why don't we just stick something on your neck and I'll pass out and we'll fall over. And Ursula said, oh, yes, science fiction. Right. Great.
All right. So what he's referring to there is the movie deals with him and Dr. Hebert, him as George Orr, Dr. Hebert with Kevin Conway, which we're going to see a clip of next. Doing sessions. He's a doctor. He's a well, we'll get into that, but sort of like a psychiatrist. And they would do sessions like that, and that's what that clip was about. So let's go on to an interview with Kevin Conway regarding this. And as soon as I find it, Yep. All right. Here's the interview portion of it with Kevin Conway.
The thing about Hebert is that Hebert, I'm glad you said well-meaning, because he's not your typical villain. He's not the kind of guy who's initially sits there and wants to make himself rich or anything, although he manages to do that. But basically, he would like to change the world into his own image, to the idea of changing the world and making it better, and he finds in George Orr the instrument to do that. So I think Ursula, when talking to her, and of course David Loxton and Fred Barzak too, and even Bruce, I think I talked to a couple of times.
Taught him everything he knows.
We made sure that he didn't become a villain. We kept trying to keep it light, and then because he thinks he's doing exactly the right thing. You know?
All right, that's going to be enough of that, so I don't take the whole thing. And I still have more for you, so hold on. Hopefully you are a fan, or if you're not a fan of Lathe of Heaven yet, that maybe this one will get you motivated to go look into it. I'll give you a description of it. It's not for everybody, and the movie's not for everybody. It would be considered nowadays, I guess, a little slow. I can't say slow. The action is there. No, not so much action like an action movie, no. But the progress is there in good order and good timing. But people, I think, nowadays, are just, they're inundated with super special effects. And when you say science fiction movie, you're figuring like guns a-blazing everywhere and all sorts of stuff. Well, it's not like that. So don't go into it expecting something like that. It's more of a head movie, a mind movie, a thinking movie. If you like those types, then there you go. If you don't like those types, you might not like this. So that's up to you. But if you have seen it, so now I'm giving you some background that hopefully I was instrumental in getting this thing released. Oh, let's actually get back into that. I do have clips from the movie that I'm going to show you. Again, small clips, fair use, that kind of stuff. But like I said, the computer I had was from around 1993. The movie didn't come out until 2000. So there was this forum thing, which probably happened around 94, 95. And then there was a couple years where I let it go. Then finally, probably around, I think the movie came out 2000, re-released 2000. So it was probably mid to late 1999 where I wrote to them this scathing email saying, if you're not going to release that, give it to me, I'll release it. So I'm kind of hoping that I had something to do with its release. Anyway, let's see some clips from the movie. And this will kind of give you now, again, spoiler alert, but this will kind of give you the flavor if you want to keep watching this video. If not, pause it, go watch the movie, come back. All right, so here's some clips from the movie. Let's start with clip 1, and this is basically how the movie opens, roughly. It gives a dramatic event that you would figure would play instrumental throughout the movie, but it kind of doesn't. So let's see this first clip. So obviously a nuclear weapon goes off, and then because a nuke goes off, you figure it would impact the main character, and it does. Let's see that clip. Is he dying?
No.
Oh. Was it a bad dream? So, it impacts the main character. He's dying, apparently, and all of a sudden he wakes up. Uh-oh. So, was he dreaming of a nuclear war? Or was there something more to it? I'll leave that up to you to find out in the movie, so I don't ruin too much. But I really say that the first opening parts really didn't play very much in the movie. Not very much. You'll see it when you watch the movie. All right, let's continue. Let's see another clip. This one is because of that bad dream he had or whatever, something with dreams. He goes to see what they call an onerologist. Clip.
Going to voluntary therapy?
Yeah, I gotta see an onerologist.
No, waterologist?
An onerologist, a dream specialist. And then let's go to another clip where George Orr meets the other main character in the movie, Dr. William Hebert. This is simply their meeting.
Yes?
Dr. Hebert?
Ah, Mr. Orr. It's a pleasure to meet you. Come in.
I only put that in just so of consistency. That's it. The next thing is they begin to discuss George's problem with his dreams. Let's see that.
You have a dream problem, don't you?
How did you know?
No great feat. I'm an onerologist, Mr. Orr, a dream specialist. They always send the dreamers to me.
Well, all I want is to stop dreaming.
Unusual request, I'd say. Let's see. All right, so why does he want to stop dreaming? Are they just horrible dreams, or is there something deeper to them? Let's see. Yeah, it's something called effective dreams. Let's listen for it.
Suppose I dream that there's no Dr. Hebert. Now, tomorrow when I wake up, not only are you gone, but you never existed.
All right, so, oh yeah, that's right. They didn't say it in that clip, effective dreams. Dr. Hebert uses a machine to get George into hypnosis state and then to a dream state. And we're going to see a clip of that machine now in action. And they might use the word effective dreams eventually.
You gonna use that on me?
Correct? Now, in layman's terms, this is what happens. First, I'm going to hypnotize you and put you to sleep. Now, you'll go through several stages of sleep, the final one being the dream state, or REM sleep. Now, the augmenter here will pass you quickly through those first stages and lock you into REM sleep. And that will allow me to hold you there while I watch your brain at work.
My brain?
Mm-hmm. Then, I'll suggest a dream to you. In your case, an effective dream.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Well, the augmenter changes nothing, George.
All right, so the term effective dream was there. So we already know now what's going on with the dreams and the dream state. That George, when he sleeps and he dreams, whatever he dreams comes true. And no one knows it but him. It changes history all the way back in time, and he's the only one that knows it. But it does change reality. His dreams change reality, and they call it effective dreams. And we watched the use of the augmenter in that last clip. Let's see here. What else do I got here? Oh, Hebert has him do a dream, come back out of a dream, and Hebert eventually figures out that, wait a minute here. Yeah, his dreams actually do change reality. Hebert knows. So he decides to start using George. Let's see this.
Listen carefully, George. You and I are about to embark upon a magnificent collaboration. We are going to make history today. Using your gift, I'm going to do what no politician, no scientist, no philosopher has ever done. I'm going to make the whole world right.
And we got the typical crazy, overambitious scientist that wants to change the world and make the world his own, in his own way or whatever. Now, to those that are regular viewers of mine, which I can't call, I have too many of, but I normally deal with the topic of the New World Order, so I am going to get into that now, like I said I would. The New World Order has those same ambitions that you just heard there. They want to change the world. They feel that they have the right, the duty, the intellect, that they're so superior than everybody else because of their money and their intellect, that they can change the world and that they can impact the influence of 7.5 billion people because they're just so much greater than everybody else. That's the New World Order. Did I ask your permission to change your world? Did I ask your permission to do things that affect your life? No, they don't. So this is how I was sort of weaving this into my normal topic of discussion, New World Order. Let's see why in this next clip that this might not be such a hot idea.
George. 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 You had a bad one, George. Where are they? Where are the people?
You dreamt about the plague.
Plague?
But it's all over now. All of us who survived are genetically resistant.
What plague?
Oh, my God. I just killed 6 billion people.
So, when I say that there's New World Order stuff embedded in this, there is. Overpopulation is an issue that the New World Order wants to address. If you know anything about my past videos, the Georgia Guidestones, the very first edict on the Georgia Guidestones is to to maintain the world's population at 500 million. Well, we have 7.5 billion people in the world right now. So what's going to happen with the other 7 billion? Does this movie indicate an idea that the New World Order has? There's many movies that go after this theme, that follow the theme of the New World Order and their agenda and what they want done. They push out this issue. Now, I ain't saying that Ursula K. Le Guin herself is New World Order or knows anything about it. This kind of stuff could be stumbled on by anybody, whether they know anything at all about the New World Order or not. These kind of issues. But I do find it a little bit strange that the issues that are talked about with the New World Order, overpopulation and other things along those lines, are within this movie and in similar orders and similar ideas that the New World Order has. Did you hear about this plague? What plague? What plague? Well, does that seem a little bit current eventy? There's current events that I think you can relate to that is contained in this movie, sort of, from 1980. Anyway, let's see. This, in my disagreement with the New World Order and their manipulation of the world, which is my contention, comes from a good phrase that's going to come up in the next clip. Why I think they shouldn't do it. Let's watch the next clip.
You asked me to dream again, and what kind of world are we going to get? Maybe a totally insane one? Full of monsters? Demons or witches? Dragons? All the things that we carry around inside us, all the nightmares, the fears. What's going to happen when that gets loose on the world?
Are you quite finished? Your negative approach to
It's your positive approach that's the danger. Solve the population problem. See what happens. Don't you see that these things aren't problems? They don't have answers that you can find in your arithmetic book.
Defeatism. We were put here to make the world a better place.
Your attempts to use my dreams to make the world a better place can destroy it.
Powerful stuff there, because that's what the New World Order is doing, trying to manipulate and change the world to what they think is best. Yet, as the wisdom from this movie shows, it could destroy the world. It has been posited, has been thought of that the New World Order has discussed releasing plagues and viruses on the world. So, what happens if one of those gets out of hand it mutates just a little bit in the wrong direction, and it wipes everybody out. Everybody, including them. I mean, who knows? It's a dangerous thing to try to play God, which is, let's see the next clip. You'll see what I mean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't think that you can outthink God.
Now that is good advice for the New World Order, the globalists, those trying to manipulate and change society to their own lofty thinking stuff that they're actually just psycho about. All right, and it has also been contended by those that studied the New World Order that they have a series of things, including reduction of population and other things, and a series of mechanisms and ways to get those things done. In other words, and let me see if I can make this more clear. If they want to reduce the population, the New World Order thinks that releasing a plague is a good way to go to reduce the population. Now, if that plague happens to kill millions or billions of people, the New World Order just says, yeah, that's the way to go. I don't think so. But they also want control of people. So another way to get control of people and quote-unquote peace on earth, and even Reagan spoke something like this in one of his speeches, is going to be the topic of the next short clip. Let's see the next clip.
George! Snap out of it. What are you doing?
What?
I told you to dream peace on Earth.
I didn't dream that. Dreamt about the moon. A battle. A battle in space. Alien forces attacking the Earth colony on the moon.
Don't believe it. I tell you to dream away man's inhumanity to man. And what do? You unite the world against the threat of an alien invasion. What a stupid, wasteful way to get peace on Earth.
It is a stupid, wasteful way. Too bad the New World Order doesn't know that, because, like I said, there's those that study the New World Order know that one of their gimmicks, one of their plans to get the world under their control, under their thumb, is to fake an alien invasion. And that's kind of what they spoke about in the movie. Now, the movie talks about a moon base with colonies on the moon, and that the aliens were attacking or doing something up there, up at the moon. But eventually, now there is another character in this movie that I haven't mentioned, because I don't want to give too much away. But the other character comes into play, and let's just say George tries dreaming on his own without Dr. Hebert, and something else happens, and let's see what's going on here.
This is an invasion alert, Aliens are invading. Invasion alert, invasion alert.
So, an invasion. So now they've left the colonies on the moon for whatever reason, or whatever they were doing up there, and now they're coming to Earth to invade, or at least that's what the movie says. Anyway, next clip has Hebert meeting one of the aliens. And by the way, I went out of my way not to show you any of the aliens because, like I said, I don't want to give too much away. So you'll see what I mean, but it's an interesting clip anyway. And the alien gives him a moral lesson, which, if the New World Order is watching this, which I doubt, but whatever, you never know. This is a moral lesson for you also. And you should take it and heed it, because you guys are idiots. Anyway, moral lesson for the New World Order as spoken of in the 1980 film, The Lathe of Heaven. Let's see the clip.
Do not do to others what you wish others not to do to you.
Of course not. Of course not.
Isn't that the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The alien has to teach him that. Of course, Hebert has no interest in that. He just fears for his life and whatever. You saw it. You saw the clip. Too bad the New World Order can't take that advice, because they are very bad, in my opinion. I would like to say curse words at this point, but I won't. Next. Now, even through all this, they still try to manipulate the world. Hebert does, and George just Haber's puppet, just kind of like we're the New World Order puppets. But let's watch the next clip and see what else they're trying to deal with. And does it have any current event significance? Let's find out.
All right, George. We're going to take on a really big one this time. Something that's been wasting a lot of the world's valuable time. Racism. When I say Antwerp, I want you to dream me a world in which there is no color problem, where everyone is completely integrated. Antwerp!
What do you think? Current events? New World Order? See how everything goes in plans? This is a film from 1980, for crying out loud. What did we just go through? A plague? Racism? What do you think? All right. And, yeah, morals and values. The New World Order thinks they are moral. They think they're doing the right thing. I think in their own heads, they think they're doing the right thing. Either that or they're just simply evil and they love it. But anyway, let's see this morals and values and who are the ones that are pushing for all sorts of stuff in the world very hard? You ever hear of conservatives and progressives, right? Where do they get the word progressive? Obviously, progress. Progress! We gotta make progress! Well, what do you think the New World Order is trying to do in their weird, twisted ways? They're trying to make the progress. So why is everybody else, what I called, well, not me, but what the New World Order calls useful eaters, useful idiots, useless eaters, and useful idiots? But anyway, progress. Let's see what this clip's about. You'll see what I mean.
You are an imperfect instrument, George. You are not a man of vision.
And you are?
I know what I'm doing, scientifically and morally. After all, I've been controlling your dreams for the past few weeks, and you can't be entirely blind to what I've accomplished already. Since we've begun working together, George, we've eliminated overpopulation, restored the quality of urban life, the ecological balance of the planet, eliminated cancer as a major killer, eliminated racial hatred, the color problem, eliminated war, eliminated the risk of species deterioration through inferior genetic stock, eliminated, say in the process of eliminating, poverty, economic inequality, the class war, all over the world. Progress, George. Progress.
Progress. Yep. Progress. Hell of a lot of ambition there to change the entire world without asking anybody. I mean, you are an individual. You have freedom, or hopefully you do. You have your own desires, wants, whatever. So if someone comes in and starts manipulating your life without you knowing it, what do you think? And what if those manipulations are not always to your benefit? What if sometimes they're even to your complete detriment, to the point of dying? I mean, if they're going to reduce population, the New World Order, or in this film, some people have to die. Yet Hebert in his film is deciding who's going to die, and maybe just not specifically, but he's had George's dream of reducing the population, and people died. The New World Order, if they release viruses, if this is their thing, and people die, who's to say it won't be you next? Unfortunately, or God forbid. All right, let's continue. Let's continue with this progress thing that he keeps harping on, because it's progressive, right?
Progress, George. Progress. We have made more progress in 6 weeks than humanity has made in the past 6,000 years.
Yet it's all up to him, right? Just like the New World Order, it's all up to them what progress is, right? All right, let's get into now. This is a dangerous clip, but I'm going to play it. What they did as a solution to releasing this film was to release it, and they dubbed over the Beatles version of the song, and they put out somebody else's version. And I'm going to play that, a very short portion of that, so I don't get a copyright thingamajigger or whatever going on. I believe you can play small portions of songs, as just long you don't go too long with them. So let's hear the dubbed over portion.
With a little help from my friends?
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
Now, I kept it short because I had to. But that clip, and it goes on for a little bit. It goes on through the whole song almost. But it was the Beatles originally. They got rid of the Beatles, and they put this in, which allowed them to free up the film without having to go through Michael Jackson and 50 million other things, and the cost of it, too. They brought the cost down, I would imagine, that way. Now, we're almost at the end of the film with these clips, and there is one last thing where almost in any film, there's going to be the protagonist, and there's going to be a confrontation. So, here's the taste of the confrontation between George and Dr. Hebert. I should have left a little bit of space at the end there because it went right back to the beginning. So I don't need to monitor anymore. Boop. All right. That is the final clip. Now, this movie, I would recommend you go see it. It's one of my favorites. When you see a movie as a younger person and you only see it once and it disappears or whatever, you start thinking, well, it was a good movie. I would like to see it again. You start desiring it, and when they finally came out with it 20 years later, it was interesting to see. I think it wasn't such a big splash as WNET would have wanted. However, it made I would say a decent impact, especially for the people that were waiting for it for 20 years. But they did also have a 2002 remake of the movie, which I did see once, and yeah, boy, I just don't like it. No, I don't like it as opposed to the original version. The original version, in my opinion, is good. The remake is not as hot, but I could be biased in that as far as because it was a movie I wanted to see. The movie is available. I mean, it's available. All you gotta do is do a search for it. You can find it. I don't want to say any more. There's moral and ethical issues and stuff like that. But, yep, the movie's available. So you take it from there. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you're new, subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Share, whatever. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of a taste of the Lathe of Heaven with Bruce Davison, Kevin Conway from 1980. And there's two other characters in the movie, which I didn't get into. I kind of kept them out just so I wouldn't ruin too much if you wanted to watch this first and then watch the movie. I try to keep it low-key, but yeah, I'm sure I spoiled some for you, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, I'm Rack Attack. You can call me Rack. This is my channel, Rack Attack Gamer. Hope you enjoyed this different style of video for me. We did get into a little bit of the New World Order, so yep, I did kind of go back to where I normally play ball, but I guess that's it. So I think this is a long enough video already. Where are we at? 49 minutes. Whoa. All right. Yeah, I do a lot of talking, I guess. Thanks. Thumb up if you liked it. Subscribe, please. Share. I don't know. All that stuff. Hey, thanks. Rack Attack out.